Hi everyone, Farmington Mayor Nate Duckett here. On today's episode of the Mayor's Table, I'm joined by Fire Chief David Burke. We're going to talk about fireworks ordinances and river safety during this year's spring runoff. Hi, thank you for joining us on today's Mayor's Table. I'm Farmington Mayor Nate Duckett, and with me is special guest, Farmington Fire Chief David Burke. David, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
It's that time of year again for us to talk about some of the important things regarding fire safety, fireworks ordinances, because the 4th of July is just around the corner.
It is.
And I do believe this week is the week that they begin selling fireworks here in town. Is that right?
The date this week published, that's correct. The 20th is when they go on sale.
Okay.
Right.
So later on this week, they'll be able to buy. Now, this year's a little bit different than last year. I remember this conversation last year on the Mayor's Table, and we're talking about concerns because we were in the drought.
Correct.
And we're standing today by the river, the Animas River behind our Farmington Museum, because we wanted to kind of show the difference between this year and last year. Right. And of course, river safety is going to be an important component of this conversation. But first, let's talk about the fireworks ordinances.
Absolutely.
So, regardless of the fact that there's been more moisture, there's still concern there where fireworks could cause some damage, right?
Right. A couple warm days, the wind like we have today, it's going to dry out all the cheatgrass, and it's really going to be, the danger is still there with fireworks. So as you're aware, and many of our listeners or viewers, the city bans specific type of fireworks. And we're going to be out enforcing that ban as well through ordinance and in conjunction with PD. So we just want to continue to urge people to be very safe when utilizing fireworks this year.
So at the stands that will be open within the city limits, are there particular fireworks there that they sell that should not be used in the city specifically?
Within the city limits, our fire marshals go around and inspect all the stands.
Okay.
So there should not be any non-permissible fireworks sold within the city limits. But you go out in the county and it's a different set of rules for them. So a good rule of thumb for anybody that's confused about it, we'll have pamphlets out at all the stands, both in the city and adjacent to the city. But if anything says warning on the packets, then that's illegal within the city limits.
So actually on the physical fireworks, if it says warning,
correct,
that is illegal in the city limits.
Correct, it's not permissible in the city limits. If it says caution, on the other hand, then within the city limits, it's within the ordinance and it's permissible.
Okay, and people can look this information up on the Farmington website, correct? So on fmtn.org, this material is available. But maybe you could name just a few of what is permissible and what is cautionary.
Absolutely. So I'll start with the permissible side, the ones that have caution written on the package. And those are considered ground and hand-held fireworks, sparklers and smoke devices, cone fountains, crackling devices, cylinder fountains, filter sparklers, ground spinners, illuminating torches, toy smoke devices, and wheel stationary/small in radius.
So I noticed in that there's nothing there that flies in the air and explodes.
Correct. And they all stay within a relatively confined area.
So there's not a lot of movement. They're not able to jump from one yard to another yard or over somebody's house and cause problems that can't be seen.
Correct.
Okay. What are the illegal fireworks?
Illegal are aerial devices, aerial spinners, helicopters, mines, missile-type rockets, Roman candles, shells, and stick-type rockets.
Okay.
So basically they go away from the person doing the lighting and out of their control.
Now this year, just like last year, there are two big fireworks displays here in the city of Farmington in celebration of the 4th of July. Bloomfield, I believe, also does a 4th of July event.
They'll do theirs on the 5th this year.
So Bloomfield's is on the 5th. When is the city's?
On the 3rd.
July 3rd, and then Tommy Bullock does his?
On the 4th.
On the 4th. So 3 nights of public fireworks, which is a great time to bring the families out, celebrate Independence Day. Also plenty going on in southern Colorado, as many people know, but more we just want people to be safe, follow the ordinances, use common sense, make sure that if you're out there using fireworks, have a hose handy. I always think that's a good idea. Is there any other advice that you have in regards to that?
Yeah, so hose is great, having a water supply, a bucket, hose, whatever. Bare mineral soil or concrete or asphalt. I believe the fairgrounds out in McGee Park are going to be offering the use of their facility again this year. Just have to urge people to clean up after themselves once they're out there. One of the big things, and pretty much a consistent message we've done year after year, is children should not be unsupervised in when they're lighting off the fireworks.
Right.
Adult supervision, and one last thing is alcohol. The person doing the lighting really needs to refrain from alcohol to keep it a safe event for everybody.
Well, these ordinances have obviously been put in place to try and keep people safe. I've known people in my lifetime who've been injured by, specifically by pop bottle rockets. So, I mean, that's why there's to make sure that your kids are safe, the people who are participating in the 4th of July celebration are kept as safe as possible. Anything else you want to add on the fireworks ordinances?
You know, we'll have additional information on our Facebook and our webpage. You can call any of the fire stations or even stop by, and we can look at the fireworks and tell if they're safe or not safe, or illegal or not illegal in the city. As I said, we will be having enforcement action, so it's better to be safe than sorry. It comes with up to a $500 fine or 90 days in jail. We'd really rather just people be educated and smart about the process and safe about the process than us having to write them a fine. But
Sure.
that process will be in place this year as well.
Okay. David, thank you. And speaking of safety, we're out here at the river. We're having a fantastic spring runoff. Obviously, the amount of snowfall that we've had in southern Colorado, the weather is warmed and the rivers are running strong. I know last year at this time, I almost think I could walk across the river right here. So I know we want to take a little moment here just to discuss some concerns that are out there in the public. Maybe you can help provide some data, some insight on that.
So here in the city limits, one of the big things that we've been trying to maintain public safety with is down in Burke Park, that area. With the current flows, it's actually come up into the park and has caused some damage, not significant, but some damage within the park, and put additional hazards out there for the public. As everyone has seen, the cottonwoods along the riverbank, the root system gets unstable when the river starts deteriorating around the soil around there. And some of the infrastructure in the park has been exposed to water as well. So basically we've decided to close the entire north side of the park and north of the river in order to keep people safe. The south side is still open. People are still able to go down and check the flows and see the spring runoff, but the north side we've closed for public safety, and we really encourage people to follow that advice. There are hazards in there that they haven't been exposed to in the past.
Sure. Now we have a couple of signs. I know we can't see them here. Maybe we can throw them up on the screen. For anybody coming down the river in a boat, specifically here behind the museum, we do have a low bridge that goes across the Animas. And this sign is just an alert sign to say, please come out of the water now, because we don't want you trying to go underneath this bridge.
We've actually placed 3 signs at the direction of our technical rescue team. They've identified the safe, navigable flow of water at 4,000 CFS. Today we are between 65 and 7,000 CFS, and the low bridge, the privately owned low bridge, is too low to navigate underneath it.
Right.
So we've got one sign up at Penny Lane, and then one behind Sirius, Texas, and then this one here at the museum to give boaters adequate notification of this hazard as they come down the river.
And as people who live along the river, or as they come to the river, they want more information. Is the Facebook page, the Farmington Fire Facebook page, the best place, the City of Farmington website? What do you recommend for individuals regarding the river issues?
Yeah, during this runoff season, we've been kind of blasting it across all mediums the city has. Everything from parks to the cities webpage to River Reach Foundation to the fire departments. So anywhere on social media we're trying to push out as much information as we can for the safety. If there's specific questions, they're more than welcome to give the fire department a call or stop by one of the stations and we'll get them answers.
Good. Now we do train year-round within the fire department. We train a river rescue crew, correct?
Absolutely.
And so at this time of year, is this an opportunity for you guys to go out and train during these higher flows as well?
We do, and we actually just finished that up last week.
Okay.
So we were doing our training for each of the shifts over a 2-week period, and gave the opportunity for the guys to float and perform the rescues and make sure all the skills were up to snuff and ready for this season.
Anything else you want to add on the river safety?
Again, back to the children, and it's the river is very mesmerizing, and you want to go down and feel it and touch it and see it. But unaccompanied children getting that close, they can very easily slip or get sucked into the water. Really want to encourage parents to keep control over their children and keep them not from getting too close to that
Well, the
hazard.
amount of debris that's coming down, we've seen it as we've been throughout today. Also what's collecting over here in the diversion dam.
Mm-hmm.
And you just see if some kid was to reach out and try and grab
Right.
a piece of wood or something like that, what could happen in that situation. So that's very good advice.
Yeah, and they'll be out of arm's reach in
An instant.
before they could even reach out to them. So keeping them away from the hazard is the best advice we can provide. And I mean, if anybody does need to be in proximity, utilizing appropriate personal protection equipment like vests and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But really, unless they're rafting and they're in a boat, there isn't a lot of need to get that close to the water.
Okay. Safety is the key word in today's episode of the Mayor's Table. I appreciate Fire Chief David Burke joining us here today. Be sure to join us next time as we'll have some coverage from our Outdoor Industry Association summer meeting that we're going to be heading to here in Denver, Colorado, as we push the outdoor recreation industry initiative here in the city of Farmington as we grow our economic diversification efforts. David, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, sir.
For more information, stay tuned to the City of Farmington's website, Facebook page, and the Farmington Fire Department Facebook page. Thanks for joining us.